Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we're joining from today.
I'm joining from Lisarow on the lands of the Darkinjung people.
And I am joining from the lands of the Nyungbul people of the Bundjalung Nation. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. We acknowledge their deep and ongoing connection to land, waters, language and culture, and recognise that sovereignty was never ceded. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
We started Femmebot because we kept meeting incredible women leading in tech. We wanted to create a space to share their thinking and leadership. Laetitia is founder of Understanding Zoe, which is an AI-powered platform designed to help families, teachers and therapists better support neurodivergent children. Inspired by her own daughter Zoe, the platform aims to create a more connected support system around every child. Laetitia, can you tell us all of the nitty-gritty on how AI is helping you in your everyday life?
Oh my goodness, it's helping me on my everyday life with everything. So outside of Understanding Zoe, which helps me a lot, I love to use Cloud Code to create lots of different workflow in my life and in my business. Classifying email, preparing and drafting answers, which are context aware, organizing my calendar and offering some dates and opportunities for meetings, or even, in the personal life, or when I can meet a teacher or organize a weekend and so on. So lots of different workflow and automation on Cloud Code. Before that, I was using NA10, which was another tool where we had to kind of build every workflow ourselves. But now with Cloud Code, it's way faster. So I'm a huge fan of this. So email for me is a big pain, and communication and keeping up with communication. So that's one thing where, boom, this is a good use of AI. And within email, what's a very good thing as well is I tend to be very blunt, and then I can ask AI to put like the neurotypical lens to it so that it doesn't have this bluntness and this just very sometimes not so empathetic and,
That's too assertive. I just say assertive. I'm
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. So now, AI is drafting those beautiful things. The other things that I use it in my personal life is around meal planning and nutrition. So for that, it will be through Understanding Zoe, because it has the information of Zoe's feeding differences and her safe food and so on. But for anyone who as a child who doesn't have any safe food or issues like this, you can definitely create. So I have a custom folder or custom bot. Like before it was a custom bot, but now you can do so much with custom folder within Cloud, where it has like different recipe and different things. For myself, I can then meal plan a bit, or I can, delegate those things. And then you can even build integrations so that it start doing your shopping list on Woolies and so on, because we are still, using what Johan had built for Woolies around ordering online. So we just love to just simplify everything that's happening in the house. And then one last one, which is all about reconciliation and finance and all of that. I have a workflow that is completely built end to end, from receiving an invoice to then filling it into Xero to then preparing the reconciliation. So it's like the end to end. So then doing my bookkeeping takes me literally a second rather than a few hours, or outsourcing it to a bookkeeper. And it's actually a solution that we sold to a few other companies, because it's literally so good. It's so good. So now like doing my bookkeeping it's just those kind of things where every time I have a moment where I'm like, this is a frustration. This is something that I do often and I don't like doing, and I'm sure I can build something to do that. So then we sit down with Johan and we just kind of build those things to make sure that we automate what needs to be automated. So then what's happening is like it makes space for the human connection, like this podcast. I could definitely have an AI avatar talking to you today, but it won't have the emotional connection that I'm bringing. It won't have all of my humanness that makes me unique. So this is where I think making space for things where you need to be really focused so that something else is doing it for you. And I've always been a huge advocate of automation, even before AI was there to help do it even further. So I'm huge on using AI for everything that can be simplified.
So that's it for this episode of Femmebot, the podcast powering women in tech. If you liked what you heard, hit subscribe and share.